welcome to the Rise of the 1% podcast, where you're going to discover the tools, the techniques, the strategies to dominate and get to the top 1% of your industry. I am G Bass. And alongside me today in the building, I got alongside me, first of all, Rise of the 1% family. Not only that, she's doing some amazing things in terms of her own business when it comes to UBE LLC, Unique Business Experience LLC, helping a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners when it comes to business structure, when it comes to tax planning, payroll, and so many other things, as well in the travel industry. And so with that said, I'm definitely excited to have on the Rise of the 1% podcast today and have her back for a second time, none other than Miss Denise Murray. Glad to have you on. How you doing, Denise?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, for sure. Glad to have you back. So let's start off with this first, Denise. Let's just talk about what you've been currently working on these days. Like, what's been going on?
Well, right now, it's tax season. So taxes is the main thing I'm working on right now.
Okay.
I'm also about to launch my products, which is going to be on ubellcshop.com.
Okay.
That is my nonprofit that I'm actually using the products for, where the funding of that is going to be going to help give scholarships to high school students.
Huge.
Yeah.
I love it. So basically getting into, talk a little bit about the products.
So the products I have is going to be different types of things. So like t-shirts, you're going to have candles, backpacks, luggage. I'll have a whole travel line because of course I wanted to use it with my stuff on there. But it also, some of the things is going to say UBE, but then I also have It's Possible.
Gotcha.
And why I put It's Possible on a lot of the brands is because I wanted to let people know that no matter what you do, it's possible that you can do it. So that's what it's going to say. Most of the lines is going to show something saying it's possible.
It's possible. I love it. Inspirational. And talk a little bit more as well about what you're doing with the nonprofit with the students. I believe that's huge as well.
Yeah, so I started talking to different teachers and things in schools. And with programs that I've been doing and different groups that I'm in with different women across the world, I know, like, for just myself, and I really wanted, I'm not one to push people into going to college. So what I'm doing for it is I'm doing 2 scholarships. One is going to be to help someone with going to college, but the other is going to actually help them start their business straight from high school.
I love it.
So I wanted to make it where as though I'm not just forcing people just to go to school, and I want people to, whoever wants to get in the business industry, to truly get in it either way, whether they go to school or not.
That's big. That's big. Because one thing they always say too is, even with the banks, they're quick to give loans for people to go to college, right? But they're not as quick to give a loan to start a business, and I think that's big on both sides. I don't think that's wrong with going to college, depending on what you're going to college for, but as well for those that want to become entrepreneurs and business owners, they can get that assistance as well coming out of school. I love it. Okay.
And not only that, I'm also offering my services. So because I do business setup, when they get with me, both people are going to be able to get their business fully set up, structured, and get everything done through in that program as well. So I'll be helping them with all of that as well. And like I tell people, you can be successful no matter how you get there. You don't have to be, like you said, you don't have to go to college to be successful. There's people who never went to school that is very successful today. So I just want people to know that, like I say, it's possible for you to be able to do whatever it is you want to do. And I just want to help it because I know for me, starting out, it was a struggle. And I messed up a lot. And so now that I've learned different things, I want to be able to help somebody not make those same mistakes with going through it.
Gotcha. Let's talk about that, and some of the mistakes when it came to getting into entrepreneurship and business. What's some of the mistakes you would say that you made that you wouldn't want to see the next individual go through?
The first mistake I made was going about things the wrong way. So structuring is the one thing. So when you're going through your business, the main thing I always tell people, like now that I've learned, make sure you check in to make sure that name is not used.
Exactly.
That was my first mistake. I got the name done, and I literally just started my website, made a whole everything off of this name, and I didn't go to the Secretary of State. And so I literally had to trash the website, trash the business cards, trash everything, and that was money. You know, so I'm like, now I know the different steps, and so now I try to tell people those tedious things that you think are not things that you need to go for, you need to go through it step by step. So that's why I put an ebook out there as well, so people can actually follow through everything step by step so they won't make those mistakes. And not only that, I like to give all the information with getting your business going and how to go about it, even on the finance side. Because a lot of times in today's society, you have people who will help you, but they will only tell you but so much before they start saying, you got this, you know, and then they ask them for different money. So like now what I'm doing is I'm like, not only am I giving you the tea, but I'm also giving it to you in a way that if you took my ebook right now, you could start your business by yourself and actually help others and make money doing it. Just by my step by step.
Oh wow, that's huge. That's huge. Where can I get the ebook?
They can go right. I have my link. It's gonna be on my site where you can go and click right on there for ebook, and then you can just get the ebook right there. Gotcha.
We'll put a link in the description as well of this podcast. Okay. Gotcha. Let me ask you this, Denise. Is there anything? Because I know, of course, we've done a podcast in the past, but is it like anything, any updates in regards when it comes to business structure that you would want to share with the audience on this podcast, or anything in regards to taxes or bookkeeping or payroll that entrepreneurs and business owners should be informed of now in 2025 that we didn't talk about maybe in the last podcast? Is there anything new or any updates, anything?
One of the things that I really feel like I should bring up, and the reason why is because I've noticed this during this tax season, that not really for entrepreneurs, but in people who work. They have a job. One of the things that I noticed with their taxes is that people are not updating and doing their W-4s properly. And so what I tell people is your W-4 is truly important, and your state form when you're putting that in with your jobs. And I notice a lot of people are messing up with that. And so I did a step-by-step video on YouTube to show people how to fill that out and what they should put on there. And one tip that I want to give to people when doing that, do not ever claim exempt, because most people are forgetting to not go exempt after they keep saying, oh, I'm gonna go exempt for 6 months and then not go exempt, and then sometimes they forget. And the problem is with the tax laws and the tax changes going so frequently and is about to be changed again, whereas though people need to understand that that is going to hurt you in the long run, where you don't have the money to pay. You end up having to owe the IRS on a monthly basis. And what I tell people is you're going exempt from not paying, and you're saying, I don't want to pay no taxes throughout the year and I'll just deal with it at the end. But then you have to make a payment plan. And at the end of the day, you're paying every single month, so why not just let it come out your check? Instead of them taxing you in there, you're paying triple the amount that you would have paid just because you're making a monthly payment. People don't realize they're really paying triple the amount that they owe when they do monthly payments than they would if they could have just paid it.
Gotcha. That's huge. That's huge there.
And the other thing I say, not just with that portion, but I also tell people a lot of times people don't have money for bookkeeping. So I also did a video on how you can take your actual bank account and turn it into an Excel. I even showed you how to formalize it, where it will automatically get you a P&L straight from your Excel spreadsheet. And I put that on the YouTube step by step, so they can actually do that if you don't have the money to pay a bookkeeper.
Wow, yeah. We're going to put a link as well in the description over to Denise's YouTube channel as well, okay? So you said basically turn your bank account
so you will go, because everybody, but some people don't realize is every bank that's out here, you have a way to go in and you can see all your transactions.
Right.
Now some banks, like I know Navy Federal is one of them, who you can't do the full year. You have to do it 3 months at a time. So with some of them, you can go and turn your statement, your transactions into an Excel spreadsheet. And then what you would do is put the formula in. The formula would then put it in. So then you would go through, so like say your meals, if you go, say, I'm going to use McDonald's as an example. So you went to McDonald's. That's meals and entertainment. So now at the end, when you formalize everything, you can see the total amounts for each one of your transactions. So then when you get ready to do your taxes, your P&L is done. And it's all done within, I literally did it online and we took all of 12 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And so they could go right on there in 12 minutes and be done, and here go my P&L.
Wow, wow, that's a new discovery for me there as well. Wow, wow. Let's talk about this, Denise. Could you talk about some of the write-offs that a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners may not necessarily be aware of when it comes to taxes and things of that nature?
Yes. So there's a lot, especially with the travel. There's so many expenses that you can write off. Like, people don't realize, okay, when you go pay for bags at the airport, that's a write-off.
Okay.
You got your luggage. You got to pay for that. Your airline tickets. And that's why I tell people on the side with having, like you said, I had the travel business, because with the travel business, I now can write these things off. Now, the only problem when it comes to write-offs is if you don't have a business, you can't write nothing off.
Right.
Whereas though before you used to be able to with a job, but now you have to have a business to be able to do write-offs.
Yeah.
So that's why I tell people it's important to have a business. And plus at this time, everybody need to have a business. You cannot depend on no job for nothing these days. It's like he doing this, like the TV show, you're fired. So at this point, you really need to have a plan B on the side. I don't care what it is. If it's making lemonade, whatever you want to do, you need to be doing something on the side to make some extra money, and everything that you do, you can use that as expenses. That is what our president does. That's how he saves on taxes. He takes everything he do and turn it off. And one thing I really want to talk about that I don't want to forget is 401k. There is so many people that I see that has jobs and they then go and try to pull from their 401k and start owing all this money at the end of the year. I want to tell y'all, go get a Roth IRA, please, and where you don't have those penalties, so you're not paying so much taxes on it at the end of the year. So you can still have your 401. I don't want to tell people not to do it, but get that Roth, so then you can have that where they don't have penalize you if you pull in from that money. So do that, and if you are a business owner, do that on your own, so you don't have those. You can, without those penalties that's attached to it.
Gotcha. Roth IRAs. Okay. Great stuff. I love it. Get some great gems there. Definitely. Talk a little bit as well, Denise, in reference to how you help some of your clients in terms of them starting a travel business, in terms of some of their tax perks.
Well, with some of my clients, sometimes they may owe, and 90% of everybody who I talk to travels. So what I do is I talk to them. I said, hey, you working, I know you have your regular 9-to-5 job, but I also know that you travel a lot as well. Like you're going on your family vacations and things. So would you be interested in starting a business that can help you potentially not owe any money at the end of the year with your taxes? So then they'll be like, oh, that sounds interesting, because I don't want to pay this money anyway. And so that's when they'll be like, okay. So I'll show them the information and I'll let them know. Now, when you go on your trip with your family, you now have this business where you can write off your flight. You now can write off your car rental. You now write off your Airbnb. You now write off your hotel. You now write off, even if we go to the bar and you start talking about this business to somebody else, them drinks and that food is now their write-off. So this meals and entertainment.
There you go.
And so I tell people all these things now become write-offs. Even your vehicle. People wrote, like, you driving, going to these different places, you can use your vehicle depreciation for 5 years. So why not use that vehicle as well? That's another write-off. So use the depreciation. Use all these things. Your computer, you had to purchase this computer to work on. That's things if you use in your home. You actually got an office space in your home. Now that is a write-off. You can't get the full for all your utilities. However, you get a percentage because you have to use electricity in your office. So these are now things that you can say, okay, I'm putting all these on here. And then of course you have dues. If you're using travel, you have dues that you would pay on a monthly basis. So that again is a write-off. But not only that, just for the write-offs, now you also making money back on what you did. So now when you went on that trip with your family, not only are you able to write off for your taxes, but guess what? Now you got a check for doing that same thing you was doing anyway. So that's why I tell people it's a win-win.
I already know. That's big. In the travel industry as well, them some big perks and benefits, absolutely. They would save on taxes. And like you say, get paid as well as you're traveling and having those experiences. That's some great stuff. I want to talk a little bit about this too, Denise, in reference to, because I know you've told me this as well on one of our calls that we've had, but also heard you mention this in another conversation online in reference to your daughter right now is at Bethune-Cookman, right? Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Yeah, rivalry of my college. I went to FAMU, right? That was one of my first colleges, FAMU. Okay. And you put her in the travel business.
Yes.
And also, as well, she has a lashes business as well?
Yes.
Okay. How has that been coming along for her?
Now, for her, she had no choice but to start a business.
Yeah.
Because I was tired of them. I need $20. So I had to put her in something. Plus, my goal is I want my child to understand that I want her to not, I don't want to just give her things. I want her to know how to make money. Because if there becomes, I see grown people who, they get in situations and the first thing they do is they want to call everybody on the phone and borrow money. And so my thing is, if you have the steps and the tools to learn how to do something else to make money, then you don't have to jump on the phone to borrow money. So now you make your money. So when you sit out here and you're like, I need $20, I'm asking her, what do you know how to do that can make you $20? What do you like? You like getting your lashes done. So did you want to take that course to do lashes? She said yes. So now you just made you $80, and now you don't need the $20 from me no more because she just made you $80.
Exactly.
So I want you to do it. Just like when she want to go travel with her friends now, because now she's at that age. So what she do? She go and then she come back to money, and then she actually, believe it or not, even skilled me on some stuff because at first I wasn't charging people to do their bookings. She was the one who was like, Mom, because I was giving that to her for her to make money.
Right.
Because in the beginning she was too young.
Yeah.
She couldn't get in the business yet. So what I used to do is I would then tell her to do my bookings because I showed her how to book. So I would let her do my bookings and I would pay her for when the commissions came in. So now when she started, she's like, Mom, well, if I'm doing all this and then they keep coming back, I want to get money paid for this. So I was like, oh, you know what? That makes sense. She was like, so she actually, it was funny because my cousin was the first person that came and she was like, she charged her $50 to do her bookings. And I was like, she said, well, this is my time. And I said, you know what? That's true. This is your time.
Absolutely.
So that's what you do. You charge for the booking. So I started giving her bookings that would come in and they would pay the booking fee and that would go straight to her. So that was extra money going into her pocket just for doing the bookings and looking them up, and then that was it. So she would just get paid just off of that.
Oh wow. Wow. Put your daughter to work. I love it. Like you say, keep hitting you up about those $20.
Right.
I'm gonna show you how to make that several times over for yourself. That's great stuff. I love it.
Yes, because this time I feel like, and I hate to say it, but I feel like in this day and age, and I hate to put the kids in their place, but I feel like kids these days are more privileged. They feel privileged.
Okay.
And I feel like they feel like their parents are supposed to be doing all these things. I want this, I want that, I want this, and we're supposed to give it, and that's because we come from hard times. And so because we came from these hard times, we want our kids to have everything, so we give them so much. And they're not used to working for things like how we did. When I wanted $20 back in the day, I was trying to babysit somebody's kid or trying to do somebody's hair or something to make that money. These kids just asking. We wasn't doing that, you know? And then even when it comes to like different things, like I tricked my child once when it came to the car. And I know she hated me for this at the time because I videoed it online. So she wanted a car. I went to Walmart and I got her a car. And I put it in a box and everything. And so when she was open, I was like, we went for Christmas, and so I'm having her online, live on Facebook. And she's keep opening the thing, and then she's like, what is it? She's like, what is this? And it's this little car. And so she was like,
oh man, I
was like, did you say you want a car?
Right,
and she was like, are you serious? But I was really using it as a joke. But I really did help her get a car. But I was like, I wanted to see her facial expression with the toy car. It was after the 5th box of her pulling and pulling.
That's funny. That's funny. Gotta check out that video. That's funny. Wow. Oh wow. Wow. No, I agree with you. I mean, in this day and time, I mean, I don't have kids of my own as of yet, but I do see how a lot of the youngins are coming up. They are a little bit more privileged, spending a lot more handouts. They're really having to get out there and get it on their own, so I believe you're definitely doing it the right way. And let's talk a little bit about this, Denise. You being a mom, and also, of course, being a business owner at the same time, because I know it may be some moms tuning in, listening to this particular podcast, and I get at times, mom's like, I can't juggle it all. It's just, it's too much. I gotta be, for some women, they might have a significant other. They have to deal with, their relationship. They may have kids or a kid. And then on top of that, attempting to make the business work at the same time. Talk a little bit about how you organize your time and how do you make everything work?
Now I tell everybody, nothing is going to happen the way you want it to happen. You're going to make some people upset. Whether it's your kids, whether it's your man or woman, whoever, you're going to make some people upset.
Yeah.
With me, and I tell people, do a business that, number one, that you like to do, that you're passionate about. When you're passionate about something, no matter how much time it's going to take out your day, you're going to do it.
Right.
When you're not passionate about something, you're going to push it off.
I agree.
And so for me, when I came, because I'm from Pennsylvania moving to Georgia, so when I came here, of course I didn't know anybody. So it was hard for me, very hard, to the point where I had a situation, and I was telling somebody how I had to find somebody to watch my child. I had just started a job, and when I started that job, they wouldn't, because I just had got on, you do customer service and you have to sit with somebody or whatever in the beginning, and so you do they do the work the first week, the second week you do the work, and then you go on your own. So I was literally still in that status. The girl never picked my daughter up. I got a call, and at this time, I didn't know what defects meant. That was the first time I ever heard of it. So when it was defects is on the line and this and the other.
Right.
And I was like, so what is that? And so that's when they told me. And I was like, what? They was about to try to take my child because they never picked her up from daycare.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting here and I'm like, they wouldn't let me leave because if I left, I would lose the job. I had to rely on a stranger, which is the girl who I was sitting with that was coaching me at the time. She actually called her mom and asked her mom to pick up my child. Mind you, I'm just meeting this girl, working at this job. I don't know her mom from a can of paint.
Right.
I literally had to go and sign the paperwork and fax it to the daycare for them to let her mom come. Mind you, these is people who I don't even know. And I'm sitting here at work on pins and needles oh my God, I'm giving my child to strangers. I don't know what's going to happen, but I can't leave here because I have to make this money because I have to pay my bills. I have a mortgage.
Exactly.
It was stressful.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's what made me start getting into wanting to do business. And I always say the reason what pushed me for that was because of that situation. So that's really what started me into wanting to do something of my own to make additional money, because I said I would never ever be in a situation where I can't be there for my child and I'm allowing a company to tell me I can't go. That's something that literally it really had me literally upset. And so at that time I still was working for people, but I always kept in my mind, I'm not doing this forever. And so even during that time I was going through the different jobs because it was layoff after layoff, because it was during the time when the market is right when Obama came in and the market was crashed. So it was companies kept shutting down. So when I first went to one company, I, was working and they laid off, and then I didn't take the package because I was so scared. I'm going to go get another job. The next time when I got that opportunity, that's when I went back to school to get my degree because I never had finished. And so during that time, I was like, I'm going to do this. But what I did to help produce what I really wanted to do in life is I interned. And that's what some people you can't always worry about the money. If it's something that you really want to do. I went in and was like, look, you don't even have to pay me. I just want to have the hands-on experience to get what I need to do. And I did that in an accounting firm. So they liked me so much they hired me on. But at the time, I was like, I'm coming in as an intern. And that's what I did. I learned so much from being an intern, more than you would even learn in the books, because I'm actually doing the work. And so I tell you, don't be afraid to do that at times. Now, when it comes to your everyday life, yes, you're going to have that man or woman or whoever is significant other, they ready to get it and they can't get it, and you too busy, you don't got no time. At this point, you're going to have to figure something else out until I can get to you, But it's you have to, sometimes you're going to have those moments, but when you get those moments, when you do get that moment to pull to the side, you make it as memorable as you possibly can. You go as a woman, hey, we women.
Yeah.
Go put on something sexy and, you know, make that day up that you
Yeah.
got him upset on, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, just change it up.
There
Like,
you
you know,
go.
you can make it fancy, throw
Yeah.
some roses, do whatever you gotta do, throw that good music on,
Yeah.
make that nice meal,
Yeah.
change that day. But this day, I gotta focus on me, but this day is all about you.
There you go.
So that's how you do it when it comes to the man situation. Your kids, they gonna get upset. Like, honestly, when I was working, I had more bad times with dealing with my child stuff than I did as a business owner, to be honest. Because I couldn't go to her school stuff because I couldn't get off of work. So as a business owner, it kind of made it better for me because now I'm able to, I don't have nobody telling me that I can't go to her events or I can't do this or I can't do that. I get up and do it when I want to.
More freedom.
With the job, I couldn't do that.
Exactly.
So that's why I say being a business owner kind of helped with that.
Yeah.
And then me, I'm more of a night owl anyway. So for me, I get a lot more done in the evenings than I do during the day because you're always getting the calls and the, you know, the interruptions. But for me, I can stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning and be working. Whereas though, you know, I can get a lot done during those times because nobody's bothering me.
Yeah.
During the day, I might not be as productive because I have so many interactions with different people. Might have clients that's coming in person or different things like that. So you know, you only can get so much done.
Yeah.
But like what I had to start doing, and I remember in the travel world, they always say, is a girl, she talked about listening out your day.
Yeah.
So what I started doing is I started actually sitting down every single day and putting down the most important thing of what I need to do, and then I started putting times on things.
There you go.
And so I started marking, okay, from this time to this time I'm going to
Time
be doing
blocks.
this, and then putting this time to this time I'm going to this, and I started scheduling it out that way because then, like I said, the same thing like I was saying about the man, sometimes, you know, you do got to say, okay, just like a regular job, I have to end it at this time. And so, and that's why even now, like some people get upset because they were so used to me being available all the time for them. Now on Sundays, I'm not available for nobody. I'm available for me and what I want to do. So you're not calling me about no business on a Sunday no more because Sunday is my time. So if you're not, you know, if we're not family or a loved one, I'm not interacting with you about any business on Sundays anymore. And so that is what I gave my day. And I said, nobody's going to take that time from me.
Huge. Huge. Time blocks. I talk to team members even with the Rise of 1% all the time about that, to even certain clients. You got to have time blocks. You got to have a schedule when it comes to personal life, business life, time for yourself, the whole nine. So Denise just laid it out for you. And for you ladies that may be tuned in to this, that have businesses and have families and things of that nature, Denise just laid it out for you. Right? You got to have that time where, hey, yeah, I got to put a lot of time into this business right now, but I'm going to make it up. Like she say, if you're a woman, you know, got to get a little sex for your man later on and have that time where you just focus in on him or have that time where you focus in on your kid as well, or kids. But you just got to be able to, like you say, you know, those time blocks, right? Pretty much. That's huge. That's huge. Okay, I have a couple of more things, Denise. So I want to talk about this. You, of course, from Philly. Philly won the Super Bowl.
Eagles all day, baby.
How did you feel about that?
Fly,
Again.
Eagles fly.
I saw a lot of times you would be online with your jersey on and stuff. I say, yeah, Denise really supporting Phillies. That's what's up. And
yes, I support all my Philly teams. Like, I left Philly, but I'm still all day Philly every day.
Yeah.
So even though the Sixers are not doing good, I'm still there for my Sixers team. I'm going to be there for my Eagles. Like, I'm going to always support my hometown, no matter where I move to.
Yeah, that's what it
I'm going to support my hometown. So even when I go down to the Falcons game, I'm having my Eagles on. Like, what? And say something.
Represent Philly, man. Y'all. Yeah, y'all definitely represent. I can tell you this because I watch the Eagles. I don't watch the 76ers as much. I'm a baseball fan as well, Denise, because I played baseball growing up. So I watched Phillies every now and then, too, especially when they play the Braves. They're a rivalry. But I can tell y'all fans, man. Y'all, man. Philly fans to me, oh, my gosh. I always so live, man. Every sport y'all have, definitely. Let me ask you this, Denise. Just a fun question to ask you, because I've been to Philly a few times myself. It was mostly on business some years ago. But if I'm going to Philly, what are some of the spots to go to? Because I'm going to be quite frank with you. I don't, when I think about Philly and my experience as a traveler, I can't think of the most just like exciting, fun moments. Now I did go there, I did get to eat a real Philly cheesesteak. I did get to go down there where the statue was in terms of Rocky. I took a picture in front of there. I think I even went out one night with a couple of friends there. But I just don't have the big memories of Philly. So it's like, what if I was going to Philly, what are some of the fun things to do, the exciting things to do? Where should I be hanging out at? And you know, what would you say there? Or is it not really that many places these days? Like what would you say?
Nowadays, honestly, there's a lot of new stuff that came about since I've been going. I've been going now, 16, 17 years now. Mm-hmm. There are some places that you can go to, like we used to go south, like South Street is still a thing where people go out there. The Platte, that's, you know, where everybody goes. Okay. Like, you know, like there's different little spots like where in the summertime, just like in Will Smith's song, it's the same way. Everybody goes to the Platte on Sunday. You got your cars, you're out there, and you know you're just doing it. Now Philly, I'm gonna be very honest, and I know some people may get upset, but I'm gonna be straight up. Philly is not a place that you're going to go really like sightsee. This is the hood, like this is really the hood. Like Philly is so hood. Like Philly is one of those places that when you go home, you have a good time because you're coming to meet with your family. Your family's there, you'll have a good time. Right. There's different events. Now, summertime, there's always block parties. That's why, like, when I moved here and I was shocked when I didn't see, that's why I started throwing block parties myself. Gotcha. But that's our thing. You know what I mean? Like, we have those different things that we have, events and things like that. Yeah. That we go to. But it's not a spot like where you can come to Georgia and go to all these nice little places in Atlanta. Yeah. Like, you're seeing crackheads. Like, that is not what you want to go visit to go see. Right. So it's like, you know, for us, it's like, this is our home, and we have our family, and we go for our gatherings. But that's not, you're not really like, how many times you going to run up a rocky step and say, you know, like, it's like, you know, it's like, it's just not a thing for, like going for visitation. Like, if we going, like when people come with me, and I took people from Georgia with me, we going to hood spots that we're not talking about on the thing. Like we're not doing like Georgia. And then one thing I can say that I love about being home though is if I go out back home, I can go get a drink for $3, and I ain't gotta have on no dress shoes and no outfits, and I don't gotta be in VIP, and I'm gonna have a great time. We can go out in Atlanta. You gotta be VIP, sitting in sections and all that. Like we don't have to. You can go with $20 and have a good time in Philly. Yeah. You gotta have at least $100 to go out here in Georgia. And then it's always like you gotta be on a gay. Like no, sometimes you just want to be in your sneakers and just have a good time. Like you don't always want to be dressed up and feeling like you a celebrity and then trying to be cute. Like sometimes you just want to have fun. Yep. That's why I call Atlanta the new Black Hollywood. Right. I feel you. I feel you. Okay. Well, hey, I know what to expect next time I go to Philly. Then I'll just keep my expectations too high. Right. Because of the entertainment. But you're gonna have some fun. You're gonna have some fun. Trust me. It's some spots out there that you can really go, and it's really nice. And now, since I've been going, I've noticed there's a lot, because it's a new thing where people having all these brunch spots and all these different restaurants and different things like that, where they're turning restaurant/club almost type of thing. Where it's like have a drink and turn it up, you know. It's like, and so it's like now it's like a lot of places is doing that now. So now I see that they have started that now in Philly. And so now if you do want to go, and I say if you're trying to come out of the hood because you want to be safe, they have these places now where you going up like 15th Street, you know, different like downtown Philly. So stay down there. Stay downtown. Gotcha. Stay where you're comfortable. You know, don't go where you going here. Broop, broop. You ain't ready for that. And if you do go to those, know how to stop, drop, and roll. Like, just go. Don't be trying to figure out what's going on. Mind your business. Keep it going. I feel you. Gotcha. Well, tell me this, Denise, you got a cruise coming up. Right, around Mother's Day. Yes, it's called a milestone. But it was originally supposed to be a milestone birthday cruise, but because people money, I couldn't get it because it was all due around the holidays. I was supposed to be for my dad at the beginning because he was turning 80 years old. And so, but then I had so many people in my family that was hitting their milestones.
Yeah.
So I had people that was turning 40, people that was turning 50, people that was turning 70, you know. So I was like, you know what? Let's do a milestone birthday cruise. But then when people couldn't get the money, I said, you know what? I'm going to do a milestone birthday / Mother's Day. So now we're doing it as a milestone birthday cruise / Mother's Day cruise on Mother's Day weekend.
Okay.
So now everybody, and so I'm making it real special. So I got gifts for everybody and everything for Mother's Day and birthdays.
It's gonna be nice.
All of that. So it's a really nice. We got almost 60 people going on the cruise.
That's
and
huge.
we're gonna have a good time.
That's big. That's big.
And if y'all do want a room, I still got some spots open. There's still a few cabins if y'all want to go. There's no more suites. There are a few inside. You know, a few other cabins that's available if you do it like ASAP because they're really going out quick on that shit.
Gotcha.
It's going to be on Carnival.
Okay, and where you all cruising to?
We just doing a weekend things for the Bahamas because a lot of people still didn't want to take off too many days from work.
Right.
So I just wanted it to be a short trip just so people can enjoy themselves for Mother's Day.
That's nice. I love it. I love it. I love it, Denise. Great stuff. Great stuff. Okay. Well, Denise, any final words on your behalf that you would want to share with those that's listening in, whether it's just any words of inspiration or any tips of advice, anything you just want to share before we close out?
I would say for inspiration, just remember, like I said before, anything you want to do is possible. You can possibly do whatever it is that you want to do to stay focused, and always make sure it's something that you enjoy doing, that you're passionate about. And the next thing I want to say is don't forget the tax tips that I gave you because there's a lot of people who are making these mistakes, and I've been seeing it a lot this year when I was talking about those W-4s and different things. Make sure you correct those. A lot of people who are working on jobs and been on jobs for many years, and your kids then wind up getting grown. Remember, you have to change that W-4 because you don't no longer have those kids on there anymore. So if your situations change, make sure you change your tax forms with your companies. The other thing I wanted to say is, if you don't have the money to do a lot of things as a business owner, know that there are things that you can do on your own. I try to give as many little tips out there that I can. Like I said, with bookkeeping and different things that you may not have the funds to do. Know that there are steps and there are people who can truly help you. I'm one of them who will help you get that done without having to spend an arm and a leg. But remember, don't stop yourself. Keep continuing to do whatever it is you're passionate about.
I love it. I love it. And let me ask you this, Denise. When you hear the 1%, because you polarize the 1%, what does the 1% mean to you? When you hear 1%, right? You hear 1% versus the 99%. I know we hear that all the time, the 1% to 99%. What does that mean to you?
1% to me, 1% is these are the only people that's going to do whatever it is that they got to do, whether it's stay up for days to do what you got to do to get what you want. Because we're looking at long term. The 1% is looking at the future and not today.
I love it. I love it. I heard it. So Denise, where can they find you?
You can find me on social media. I'm now Niecy Murray because somebody hacked me. So you're no longer Denise Murray, but my AKA was always Niecy, so I'm still me. Yep. But Niecy Murray on there. I also have my business accounts, which is everything is UBE LLC. With Instagram is UBE LLC _, but everything is pretty much UBE LLC on social media. Okay,
perfect. We'll definitely put those links in the description of this podcast episode as well. And Denise, thank you again for coming on. Absolutely. Laid a whole lot of gems and jewels on here and value. Definitely appreciate you. And being you all got some value out of this, make sure you hit that like button. Also, if you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you want to see a lot more free, great podcast interviews just like this, just like we just did with Denise. Feel free to share this around with anyone else you feel can benefit. And as well, this podcast will be on Apple and Spotify. You actually can look us up if you like to listen to audio, but just video, because it'll be on YouTube. But also, if you like to listen to audio, we'll be on Apple or Spotify as well. The Rise of the 1%, just look us up on Apple or Spotify. You can listen to audio if you want as well. Besides that, this has been a great one. And with that said, definitely have a great one on purpose. We'll see you next time.